Hey everyone, and welcome / good morning to
Afternoon.
the Smite World Championship qualifiers. We're getting ready to go here. We're going to start with a lot of great matches, and certainly this is kind of like the home stretch, right? This is where the teams decide, do I want to be in the qualifiers, the regionals, or do I not? And this is kind of the decision you have to make. And we have that open slot, right? Fourth is really wide open. There's a lot of fifth and sixth teams that are kind of coming together. Yeah, you have a background.
Oh, the background is
I
gorgeous.
know, I know, I know.
Rule
I, d-
Britannia.
I did it just for you.
Britannia rules the
Okay,
wave.
don't go overboard. Don't go overboard.
Okay, it looks
Breathe.
so good.
Breathe. Breathe. It's
I'm
okay.
sorry, I'm just so
I know.
excited.
I know it's exciting. I know. I know. Okay. Focus.
Ooh, ooh,
Focus. Got it?
okay,
Get it together?
okay, I'm here.
All right. First match of the day, guys, is going to be a round of 16 matchup as the buys kind of came out today. Not as many teams have come out as expected, and so we're going to have because the buys moving on to round of 16, today we're going to be watching Optimum Esports versus Exposed Secrets, 8th and 9th seed together. Definitely a very strong matchup indeed, and certainly both teams getting ready to climb the charts up to maybe that 4th place slot, or even just earning a little bit more cash themselves.
Yeah, I mean, that's what all these teams this week have a lot to do. Right, this is the last 3 weeks. This is week 8. There's 3 rounds to go, including today. And the top 4 are going to go to the LAN. But
Right.
the 2 of them, I think 3rd and 4th place, are really contested right now. Really
Well,
contested.
4th, yeah, that's right. 3rd, 4th, and 5th are all, I mean, 4th, 5th, and 6th really are all just right next to each other. I mean, as we talked about last week and the week before, I mean, it's a matter of 7 to 20 points apart.
Yep.
It's easily a first place or second place win between the two of the teams, depending on how they qualify today. Now, as far as the bracket is set up, we have an interesting spread here. On the bottom side, we're going to have TSM kind of pushing their way through the bottom area. We also have Team Coast Blue, which of course was Worth Gaming. Worth Gaming, congratulations to them.
Yeah,
They
big
got
shout
a
out.
sponsorship today with Team Coast Blue, so they're going to be moving up in the charts here. Down the bottom, we have Musketeers versus SK Gaming, as well as Big Boys versus Bloody Tech EU. Not excluding, of course, the round of 32 teams we've seen before. Twiglets and Vindicate are taking place right now. We have Los Colombianos and Drunken Master going to be waiting for their chance to face off against TSM in the next round. But, Optimum Esports versus Exposed Secrets is the match we're going to be watching today, and I think it's a really exciting match to start with because Optimum Esports 2 weeks ago actually made it all the way to the semifinal round. They were able to kind of conquer through the teams, and at that point, they were 20th seeded. They were not really the strongest team that everyone expected to come out and really do the best that they could have. That's right. So they actually went over to the round of 8, facing off against Bloody Tech, beating them by 5 previously. They were
That's
20th
right.
seed and certainly have a chance to come out and show themselves today, as they haven't really done so in the last 2 weeks or so since their chance to make it all the way up to the round of 8.
I mean, also on the other side of the bracket, we've got SK Gaming for the first time. Drybear, they're not going to face TSM in the quarterfinals if they get that far, and that's been the big stumbling block SK have faced time and time again since I believe it's week 2. They've faced SK Gaming every single week, and after their victory last week and their win, it's allowed them to get the lower end of the bracket, which means they won't be facing TSM till the semi-finals at the earliest. So they're going to be getting a few more points this week if they can continue the run of form they started to show last week as well. Other news as well, i5, you've heard about iRafa, Drybear, leaving
What's
i5.
what's
He's
with that?
he's looked to move over to Bloody Tech. However, just because of the closing of brackets, he's not going to be able to make it, which means i5 had to bring in a replacement for these last 3 weeks, and that's going to cause i5 some
Rapper.
issues on trying to qualify. It's going to be tough.
It's really unfortunate because this, the roster lock was known from the beginning of this path, all the way up until week 6 and onward was the roster lock. If you played on a roster and played it during that week, it's all locked up. And, honestly, jumping ship at the last second is really frustrating for a team like that. Now, there's going to be a lot of opportunities throughout the rest of the year for teams to kind of come in and play strongly, but I'm surprised to see players still trying to move about this late into the qualifiers. As far as bands go, we're going to have Aphrodite, Loki, Giannis, and Hercules as they wide open, and no thought goes into that one. Optimum Esports picking that one up immediately, and I honestly cannot fault them for that.
No, not at all. I mean, Kublai has started to be realised now how strong he actually is. He's a contested pick and ban consistently now. We saw in North America the plays he can sort of make. Some people, though, haven't played him that much, Drybear, and it kind of shows in the play style of how passive they can be with Kumbhakana and not as aggressive to the game. However, that does leave the door open and expose secrets. I think on Europe, Thor is the biggest name in the jungle right now, and he's picked consistently. I'm really surprised that one, got through so quickly, and he's going to be picked all the time.
Well, it's going to go to Frostak, and Frostak is very strong at those high mobility junglers. He's always been great at Thor. He's always been great at Bastet. He's always been great at those high mobility junglers that kind of get around and get involved. And Thor's definitely one of those who hits that kind of on all cylinders. Raw locked in as well. Raw, very well known, very well understood character that can do so much for your team. Heal support, also has high mobility, has long range, and also strong amount of damage. We'll see what they decide around the south with. I mean, Apollo is available here as well. As far as junglers go, Mercury,
Optimus.
there goes the Mercury hover as well. Mercury's been a
Mercury
character that is kind
baller.
of making his way back into the competitive scene and the ranked scene over the last month or so, realizing that he has a lot of damage. And with Warriors being brought down and Assassins kind of sitting where they were, Mercury kind of just hit really, really hard and started climbing the charts. And you can see him being picked up here by Optimum. Across the way, they're actually going to go for Gab, and this is a smart choice by Exposed Secrets. Now, it doesn't mean that they can go for anything else, realizing that support is already picked. They got to know that when it goes to banning, they were going to ban Gab. A smart choice if they haven't
Well,
picked support already. So
it was going to be, I expect them to ban away Artemis here. Optimum Esports should ban away Artemis away from Exposed
sure.
Secrets now that it picks up Geb. And I think that was the situation Exposed Secrets probably found themselves in, is like, do we want Geb or do we want Artemis? And they chose Geb because he has a good laning phase against Kumbhakana to an extent. As the game goes on, he can use those shields to take away the Mez because it removes it. And there is the Artemis ban coming out. So no surprise that Exposed Secrets picked up the Geb. They're quite happy not to pick up Artemis here.
Well, also, Funball can play pretty much every hunt in the game. In fact, his main hunter is on her. He's always played on her from the dawn of time. And so, kind of swapping through, I expect on her, and there it is. There's the line kind of coming out here. So, Artemis is a great choice. I mean, her harassment is very strong. Her laning phase can be quite good. Actually, swap over to Neath this time around, which honestly is a little bit better considering the fact that they have characters like Mercury and Apollo who are prone to diving behind enemy lines. It's very easy to swap up Neath ultimate,
That's
throw
right.
that World Weaver out, and kind of stick them to where they are if they dive a tower or anything along those lines. So Neath gonna be locked in here. The bans are very please don't burst
No
me on the
Scylla.
side of Exposed Secrets.
No Scylla ban,
That's right.
no Scylla
No
ban,
pick.
no Osiris ban, and neither of them been picked yet. I'm really surprised by this on EU. Really shocked. This is the round of 16, and we're not getting an Osiris ban or a Scylla ban. I'm really shocked.
Osiris, I'm not really all that surprised. I mean, I think he's strong, but I don't think he's first pick, first ban material. It's only if your team
Wow.
really wants him. So we'll see. I know how that goes around, but I don't think he's the kind of character. There's my man,
Vulcan.
lock it in. Yeah,
Wow.
get that
Volk.
bald-headed beast with the big beard coming out. So Vulcan locked in here with Ao Guang. Interestingly enough. Now, I'd imagine you'd want to put Ao Guang in the mid lane and Vulcan in the solo lane, considering the fact that Vulcan will be going. Actually,
Mm,
it would be Ao Guang against
tough.
Ra, which is a pretty favorable matchup for Ao Guang, considering the fact that he can tornado right on top of the heel, and Ra cannot stand inside of it.
That's true.
But also, I mean, it does limit his push factor. So we'll see where they decide to go with this.
It
Now,
depends if Rod's
Vulcan,
going mid, I guess, as well. I mean, if Rod does go to the
that's
mid
true.
lane,
It
then
depends
they
what they
can put
pick
Vulcan in.
last.
Yeah,
But I
definitely.
know, I don't think Shadownimer's a big fan of Ra in the mid lane, so I doubt that they're going to go there. Agni
Yeah,
being
you
hover
called
on,
it.
I imagine that Shadownimer would take Agni in the mid lane instead,
Agni.
just knowing his preferences. I mean, they could run anything, right? They could run
That's
Vulcan
true.
mid, they could
That's
run
true.
Alguang solo, and vice versa. The biggest thing about Vulcan, though, is that he's very hit or miss. He can do a lot of damage even without his ultimate. I think he is a very strong kit and is a character that could be competitive if played properly. I'm a big fan of Vulcan, but at the same point, there are times where the ultimate never hits for 15 minutes
That's right.
straight. You can't secure anything. And a lot of times you'll see top players just using more mid and close range ultimates just to get some damage out because that long range big burst is really hard to secure.
I mean, the one thing about Vulcan is he does have a lot of damage drive there, but getting the damage to confirm is his biggest issue in the game. But if
Right.
a good player gets hold of him and can really land all those skills, it's going to be a lot of damage going out. And that turret as well, people underestimate the damage that that turret can put out
Sure.
during the later stages of the game. So keep an eye to see how Vulcan works out. If he goes in the solo, though, I'm not sure how he's going to fare against Ra in the early stages. Could be a tough matchup.
It could be. It's not necessarily the hardest matchup for him, and it depends on how it's played. Zalia, very accomplished and
Yeah.
strong raw player, so he's got his work cut out for him. Now, keep in mind this is 8th and ninth seed together. Exposed Secrets has kind of been an all-star team that was put together and really hasn't found any success since that coalition kind of came together here. I mean, you have characters like Funball, Zalia, Dazer,
Such big
Frostiak, Shadow
names.
Nightmare, all big names that were involved in the launch event qualifiers and also names that went to the launch event itself. And it's a little surprising to see the fact that, them coming together has not really hit home. That X factor seems to be missing for them. But, look at the lineup right now. I would say the ball is in Optimum Esports' court. They
Definitely.
have a lineup that is very contingent on them doing well. If they do moderate or they do poorly, they're not going to win this game. Mercury is very reliant on game state. Vulcan very reliant on game state. Ao Guang is very reliant on game state. These characters are not characters that can play in any situation. Apollo and Karn certainly can. They're very versatile and very strong in that aspect, but the rest of them, they got to play it right if they want to win this out, whereas it's a little more safe on the side of Exposed Secrets.
Oh,
But
Drab,
that's going to
I
be it.
just thought Combat Corner Epic Uppercut into Earthshaker.
Ooh.
Ew.
Or the sleep into the ultimate is the biggest thing there.
Yeah.
But that's going to be it for us, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We're going to hop into this match. We're going to take a brief break right now and go right into the first match of the day. Round of 16, Optimum Esports versus Exposed Secrets. Welcome back, everybody. The first matchup of today is going to be Optimum Esports versus Exposed Secrets. Getting ready to go here. You already watched the picking stage. You know the gods that are in the game right now. Let's cover who's playing what and where they're going. The bottom side of the map is going to be Optimum Esports on the green grass. Leading the charge right now is going to be Apollo, played by X-Frosty is going to be on Vulcan. We've got Radio on Kumba Karn. Argonath on Ao Guang, and Sanjo is playing Mercury.
And on the other side of the map, fighting from the top half of the screen, right-hand side of you, Spectator UI, we're going to have Exposed Secrets, well-known team. They've got some really good star players on here. Zalia in the solo lane as Raw, Funballer on Neath in the Hunter role, Frostiak in the jungle as Thor, I'm Dazer on Geb, and finally Shadow Nightmare on Agni in the middle lane.
Shadow Nightmare, strong player. A player known for innovation as well, and this time around he's not really going to be going into that bucket. He's just playing the standard Agni game, going in the mid lane. Now, we've known that he's been playing Freya mid, Bastet mid, all kinds of crazy stuff, but today he does not want to experiment, and for good reason. We're in week 8 of the qualifiers, Hindu. There's only 2 weeks after this left.
That's right.
Until the qualifiers are complete. They are currently 8th seeded, and they got to climb those charts, and looking to do that today. We'll see if they can make their way through Optimum Esports. When they first came out, they were 20th seed, and they made it all the way to the round of 8, just barely missing the semifinal round. So obviously a lot of potential here on the side of Optimum, and no risky business early on here.
No, everyone played very standard. A couple of early wards going out from both teams just to give away position, but other than that, nothing unusual to be expected. What we're going to see, though, it is going to be Ao Guang in the solo lane, so it's going to be Vulcan facing off against Agni in the mid.
Yeah, I like this. I mean, Agni doesn't really have that great of a matchup against Vulcan, given the fact that Vulcan harass him quite heavily. You can see him already doing so, stepping inside the Path of Flames, allowing the minions to attack. Now, the biggest thing that Vulcan's going to have trouble with here is going to be the lane push a little bit early on. He needs level 5 or 6 to be safe while doing it. You see the meatball hitting there, clearing the wave out. He's going to use the turret effectively as well. Look at this. Ooh. Thor actually running back here, looking for either a gank or maybe stealing the Harpies.
Looks like a gank. He's waiting for Frosty to come out of here, but they know he's not in the lane, so Frosty's well aware because his team from Optimum Esports have let him know. But he's still going to go aggressive. He might get caught out a little bit here. Nope. Good backfire. Gets back away.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked to see Frostiak actually going for that. Honestly, he's level 2, and realistically, if he had a wall, then he would just have 1 damage ability. If he had 2 damage abilities, he has no wall.
Love
so either way, level 2 won't work. They're gonna go over here and movement speed up, but Frosty spots it out, calling for help from his left side lane, looking for the meatball. The meatball takes it. Frostiak gets nothing. Turret on the ground. Hammer coming out there, spinning forward, but he's got nowhere to go. Here comes Mercury. A big rotation from Optimum Esports. Already in the backside as well, keeping Apollo busy. Where is Thor gonna go? The meatball on the ground. Frostiak, what are you doing today? The hammer,
the double tap
forward, the dash. They need a little bit more damage to take him down. Frostiak in deep, and Frostiak goes down. What is he doing?
He went aggressive, looked for the kill, did not confirm. If he got first blood, it could have paid off. Not going to, though. Speed buff goes over to Kunda, just picking that one up to make sure it doesn't go to fully waste. And with that happening, it does mean that all that time that Frostiak has wasted trying to counter jungle and trying to gank is not going to pay off. And that's a big lead for Sanjo in the jungle.
Huge for Exposed Secrets. That does mean that Agni, who didn't actually get too involved in that one, is going to push this mid lane up a bit. Frosty, who was there as well, look at their goal numbers. They're pretty similar, actually, so not a big separation between the two of them. But not only did Frostiak waste time in the mid lane trying to gank him without a stun available, not only that, but he went over and tried to waste time stealing with the movement speed buff and didn't even get it, and then ran around in the jungle and tried to escape. He used 2 hammers. Oh, mid lane.
Looking for the opportunity, but great play from Shadow Nightmare again, showing his experience. Yeah, being able to deal with it, but that level 5 on both now, we're going to see Sanjo being a threat. Look for the Sonic Booms coming down one of the lanes. I expect him to maybe look at the left-hand lane and try and give a hand to his Apollo now.
Apollo will need a little bit of assistance here, given the fact that Kuma Karn's kind of been around, but the biggest thing about Apollo, he can keep this lane alive.
Yeah, he's able to sustain and farm underneath the tower quite effectively, be able to use the So Beautiful just to clear the minion wave. He should be starting to hit that level now. But 1-0 in favour of Optimum Esports gives them the slight lead at the moment. It's going to take a little bit longer for Frostiak to get online. Still not level 5 just yet.
The biggest thing about that, it looked like Thor actually started with that magic or that damage pot early on, and so lose out on that 400 gold, and now he's kind of sitting with that damage buff. The biggest thing as well is, I was still confused. I mean, he used 2 hammers to try and kill Vulcan instead of escaping. He could have teleported twice away from the fight and gotten out, but he still kept going deeper and deeper and deeper, trying to get the kill on Vulcan.
That's right, he did try and get the kill, and he went too aggressive, and he paid with it with his life in the end. The only good thing coming out from Optimum Esports right now is Dazer is ahead of Radio, so Kumbakan has still not got his Epic Uppercut online yet, so keep an eye on that, because when it does come up, you'll probably see some more players coming out. But already Frostiak, now level 5, looking for an opportunity. You can see him sat between mid and solo lane, looking for the opportunity to go up in the air.
Well, big thing too is if Kumakarna gets a big AoE sleep, it's going to be a free Algo ultimate or a free Vulcan ultimate. It's very easy. Man, look at Frosty winning some hearts right now, reacting to Frostiak so easily. Every single time he comes this area, he is ready to go on that. The reaction is very quick. Is get out of the way. I mean, I'm surprised to see such an alert mid laner. It's very refreshing.
Yeah. He's got the wards down and he's using them well. He's actually using them very wisely. And the good thing is what we said at the start of this dry is that Vulcan is got a lot of damage, but confirming that damage is difficult, but he's landing those meatballs consistently. Those magma bombs have been on point so far.
Arrow left side, see some harassment coming through here. Yeah, I'm looking for some push, gonna get the lane a little bit further up. Apollo gonna clear this out. Looking at the in-between between the Hunters, actually, I haven't talked a little bit about that. 2,900 gold for the Apollo. Neath is going to be currently sitting on 3k, so Neath is actually out farming the Apollo quite effectively. Actually, Apollo is still sitting on tier 1 spiked Gauntlet, still unable to get that moving forward, although in hand, he's currently sitting on 1,400 gold, so he's rather close to finishing that off entirely.
Yeah, he's just that waiting for the whole thing in one go. That's what he's looking to do. Neath did go back and purchase again, so that's why she's, a little bit ahead in terms of builds on the screen right now. But Apollo's still got the gold available. He's going to continue to farm and wait until he's got enough for the full Dev Gauntlets, which will be at 1,400.
Well, I mean, she also has 100 gold on him individually, so she's got that little bit of gold lead. Even with going back, it seems like she's got more control there. Biggest thing because of that is that Neath actually didn't contribute to that Frostiak nonsense in the jungle, and so she sat in the jungle and in the lane farming up while Petropie actually went over and started helping with it. And so because he wasted more time in the jungle kind of running around while she was farming, she got a bit of a lead from it.
Yeah, Petropie didn't actually get an assist in that kill at all on Thor, so overall he did waste his time, but so the support to his team was important because otherwise could have gone totally differently for them on that one. Quick look at the Okwang versus Ra lane, Zalia versus Argonoth in this lane at the moment, and Zalia got his tier 2 boots, already got rank 2 purification beads online already, so he's well aware of making sure that gets up quickly to avoid the sonic booms coming out from Mercury as time goes on.
Here's Tempest using the right lane to clear the wave out. Looks like he's ready to head home. Does he have enough for the book? He does indeed. The book is now activated here, Hindu. Algon's got that damage stacking up. One of the best items, item god combinations in the game, actually. That passive stacking is so great. Goes up here. Good stun there. Double hit. There's the hammer. There's the wall. Damage. Big damage. Neath ultimate's not going to help very much at all. And Kumba and Vulcan go down there in the mid lane. Very well coordinated.
Really well coordinated as well, especially at the time of the mid camps. They knew they were coming up, didn't even lose the mid camps for that as well, so they're going to get both mid camps out of it as well. And look at this dry bear, they're going to go straight for the Gold Fury. If they pull this one off, this is going to be a massive lead very, very quickly, developed all because of that gank coordination.
That was the push. The Gold Fury's going to be dropping
Apollo's
low here. Do they have a hog? Looks like they don't. Jumping in. No hog secure at all.
Esports, get it!
Wow.
Esports managed to pick it up, and now look at this. Apollo's looking to turn this one around. Cataclysm is going to slow down Mercury. Mercury does drop, and now Apollo's stuck. Can he get through the gap? He can, but the Rain of Fire is going to be enough to secure it. There is the Celestial Beam, and now it looks like Kumba's going to go down as well. Volcanal over the top. Earthshaker does not hit. That's a disengage. Exposed Secrets 5 for 1, but Optimum got that Gold Fury, take the gold lead.
They got the Gold Fury, and we'll see what happens after the fact here, because the gold is still in favor of Optimum Esports, but that could change shortly as they, of course, gave away 3 kills in front of the Gold Fury. Unfortunately, Akuma Karn actually didn't hit his ultimate on anything. He used it to dash away, maybe for the CC immunity, but it was just too much for him, too little, too late. And, it's rough, right? The Gold Fury going away means it's kind of nullified. As far as the gold goes, and the experience is going to be much more in favor of Exposed Esports just because they are Exposed Secrets, just because they played a lot better better in that engagement, but the gold being a little bit further ahead towards Optimum, it pays off. Now, Vulcan a little bit late to the party there, not able to get the ultimate off in time to get some assistance off, and of course, Ao Guang and Ra kind of locked in eternal combat here. But one good thing that's happening for them is 4,900 gold for Argonath, 4,700 for Xaylia, so Argonath is actually beating him by about 300, plus his book is already complete.
Yeah, I mean, in the mid lane, though, Shadow Nightmare he's starting to get himself online now. He's landing the Rain of Fire consistently, and Frosty's having a bit of a tough time against it now. You can see he's taking poke down, being forced back yet again in this middle lane. So keep an eye on Shadow Nightmare, because he's going to be the big playmaker to start off these fights, as we saw just recently.
We're going back in the area here, going to try and pick up this damage buff that's on the ground that Thor left for him. Thor going up in the air, though, looking for a hit. Actually, don't think he's in range. He's not in range. Picked up there. They're now dashing down to the tower. Needles are coming out. Spirit Tempest going to come out, not going to land anyone. Ra looking for the ultimate, possibly. There it goes. There it hits. Not enough damage, though. Forcing him away. Thor actually misjudged how far he had to go.
He's used the beads now as well, and now we're going to see Frosty come in. Doesn't land the meatball, though, but luckily backs away in time. But that was a nice combination. Did you see the World Weaver and Xaylia with his patience waiting?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, it had to be there. I mean, honestly, you see the stun coming through. You see that control. You see that distance. But, you know, he had to try for it. He's losing lane a little bit. Ao Guang's not a very aggressive player if he doesn't have an ultimate, and so you're wondering what can he do. But look at Merc to the right side. There's the stun on the ground. Look for the dash. Purification speeds. Berserker Barrage. Killing speed for Frosty X. Surprisingly enough, he's missed a lot of marks early on, but still managed to get the kill and still managed to get in the gold early on.
Yeah, Frosty X right from the outset showed how aggressive he wanted to be this game and how much control he wanted to exert on this game, and he's starting to do that now. He's getting himself online and causing a lot of issues now for Optimum Esports. 6-1 is the deficit now. Expo Secrets in control of this game, and once again, mid-camp's being taken away from Optimum.
Right, Frosty going to take those one down. There goes Shadow Amber joining in the fun as well. Geb, Dazer is in the mid lane. Make sure the lane doesn't push up too much. Left side, Hunter versus Hunter. Checking back in on that. We got 5k on Apollo. Neath is sitting at 5k as well, so they're all tied up. Mid lane looking for some harassment.
Once again, as Shadow Nightmare lands some nice Rain of Fire. Once again, on to Kumbhakarna this time around. Left hand side, going to see the Hunters dueling it out, and Apollo has to retreat to tower because of that minion wave. Respect the minions.
Argonath is actually still winning this right side lane, which is amazing, right? Because Xaylia used to be a household name. That was a name that you feared. That was the one that was the hardest one to realize that, hey, I'm going up against Xaylia in the solo lane, but Argonath is actually out farming him right now, able to control the lane a lot better. Now, Xaylia is a little bit ahead in experience, but as far as the gold goes, Argonath is still keeping up in that regard, although Xaylia does have a lot of assists and kills.
Yeah, that's really surprising. I mean, when you look at the fact he's got 1 kill and 4 assists on Xaylia, the fact that Argonath is actually ahead in terms of gold is really surprising to me. I expect with those kills and assists to, you know, Xaylia to really be pushing on here, but Argonath doing a good job. I mean, after all, he is Ao Guang, he's got great wave clear, and with Xaylia's rotations, it has given him a bit more chance to free farm.
Well, free farm is what he's getting right now. Checking that itemization, you see both hunters are about to finish off their boots after finishing Devour's gauntlets. Those are completed and ready to go. We see that Shadow Nightmare has finished off his Shoes of the Magi, going to Soul Reliquary, actually. Looks like he might be heading towards that Book of Thoth himself.
Yeah, on the hunters as well, we can see Sprint already online for Funballer, going to be working towards tier 2. So you can see the only difference between the two hunters right now is that Sprint, even though gold is even. Probably a little bit more in-hand gold available for Apollo right now. But we'll see as this one plays out. Left-hand side, mid-camps are coming up soon, and with the Gold Fury still being down for the next few minutes, Dry Bear, it's going to be a bit of a stale one, and that mid-camp could be where we see any fights right now.
Yeah, I mean, mid is going to be the main area, obviously. I mean, you got Vulcan in the area. Geb can rotate quite quickly, and Kumbhakarna is going to be effective once he gets there. Now, as far as vision goes, it seems to be in favor of Optimum Esports. You have 3 wards in front of the Fire Giant, 4 actually, 3 in front of the Gold Fury. Great ward coverage, and very minimal from Exposed Secrets, actually, even though the gold's pretty much tied.
Yeah, gold is pretty much tied right now, so we're going to see as this one goes on. But at the moment, though, we're going to be seeing Frosty in mid lane on that Vulcan. He's got, so far, the Soul Reliquary, and that only builds into the Book of Thoth and Soul Reaver, so more than likely going for a Book of Thoth here next after getting the Shoes of the Magi. So let's see where that build develops into. I mean, if he goes for the Soul Reaver, it's a bit early game to get an item like that, but if he does, left-hand side, though, Epic Uppercut does land underneath, and she's in a bit of trouble. Great backflip, though, to the defensive surroundings of I'm Dazer, who's there with the shield as well. Sanjo's still going aggressive, and he's going to get caught out as Cataclysm does land. There's the Earthshaker. He's going to hit onto Dazer. Big backfire. And Apollo's going to look to clean up from the sky, and he does so. Funballer, though, does return the kill on Sanjo, and Thor's up in the air.
Thorjung down top, looking for Apollo. There's damage, there's a burst. He's, I don't know, but great mesmerize. Great dash with a Spirit Arrow. Can't get the wall distance, though, and he will go down. Vulcan trying to assist here, but no control from him. Unfortunately, if the Mercury ultimate missed there, Apollo went in after the fact, very low HP, and got Neath ulted. We saw Kumbhakarn not able to control the fight the way you would think Kumbhakarn could. So Optimum Esports not playing at an optimum level there that time around. Exposed really just got their number and kind of controlled them left and right. And it's hard to see that because certainly, you're looking to Optimum Esports to see that they can hold on to the gold lead. They just lost their gold lead by a small margin, but now you can see that 3,700 experience is in favor of Exposed Secrets, and a lot of that comes from the fact that, level 9 on support. Look at the junglers here, level 12 on Frostiak, level 10 on Sancho. In the mid lane, we have Shadow at 13, next Frosty at 11. They're just missing too many opportunities to get farm and experience.
That's right, and that whole fight on the left-hand side was initiated by Optimum Esports as well in the duo lane, but the way Exposed Secrets rallied and got around immediately, it turned it into a 2-for-1 in their favor. It shows Exposed Secrets are really going to try and make a push this game and try and show that they've got an opportunity. They've got 3 weeks to do it, and they have to do something this week. Golfier's just come back up, though, so expect some ward coverage fights going on there between the supports as both teams look for a position to get an opportunity to take it.
Well, it's unfortunate, right? Because they used so many ultimates to try to get Neath and just never got her. She backflipped at the right time, avoided the Mercury ultimate, and just didn't have the control you'd expect them to have. Both junglers on the right side will go head-to-head here. There's the Meiji look and a partial hammer hit. Argonath is looking to slow him down. Going to miss the squall. Good dodge there from Frostiak. Tornado on the ground. Good basic attack as well. He's going to avoid the tornado himself. Very hard to hit a very basic tornado on a character who's paying attention.
Argonath's going to be careful, though.
He
didn't look at the opportunity he had. He got a bit of free damage off there. Waiting for Zalia. Zalia's there with the wall. Is Neath going to hit? It's not, but he's still going to take him down. Zalia picks up that kill, and that was Argonath just overextending too much.
I mean, he was just teasing death. I mean, he was just poking at Thor with no real goal or reason to do so. He was just sitting there taking damage for no reason, rocking him out, and even if he was able to escape both of them, Neath had an ultimate available, so all they would have had to need is vision on top of Argonath, and he would have gone down there. So that was just, a poor mistake.
And with that, you can see Exposed Secrets looking to take off as much as they can from this. They're going to start the Golfier in a 4v5 fight now. Well aware of it, though, is Radio. He blinks in early. Earthshaker's going to drop down, going to do some nice damage. Can they get it? No, Exposed Secrets get the Golfier, but Frosty secures Dazer. And now we can also see that Frostiak's in trouble too. He's going to drop. Shadow Nightmare returns to kill Sanjo, though. And now Apollo's in trouble.
Oh, Kumbhakarn's going to go down there last second before he comes back up. Vulcan surrounded, double kill for Shadow Nightmare. Apollo gets out. That was a 5 versus 4. Argonath was unable to be in that fight. No damage from him at all. Rock coming from the backside here, looking to rotate over. Argonath in mid lane defended up from the big push coming out. The Gold Fury did go to the side of to Exposed Secrets, I should say.
That's right.
So they had the Gold Fury. They're now going to get a mid tower, most likely. Lots of push in the left lane. It seemed like Optimum really had a great team fight there. Unfortunately enough, they just didn't have enough number. Oh, Tempest Argonath with a slow and fun ball forced to retreat. The Noodle says no.
The Noodle defends the middle tower. However, the Golfier, like you said, went to Exposed Secrets. The fight went 3 for 2 in their favor as well. And a lot of that came down to Shadow Nightmare, and that Rain of Fire really paid dividends for him. Again, Shadow Nightmare now 3-0 and 8 in this game. No slouching on Funballer, though, who's 3-0 and 5, and his item build's coming along nicely. Thor's up in the air, dunking down on Argonath. Argonath's in trouble again as the wall connects, and all he can do is stand and die. Can the Noodle this time round? No response from that one.
Thor's a great counter to Aoguang. It's so hard for Aoguang to deal with that high mobility, double stun damage coming out from him.
Ooh.
Good meatball there.
That was a great meatball.
Catching him out there. Of course, he is not immune to that kind of treatment. Left side, going to be pushing him away. Going to be forcing this out of here. One thing I should mention as well is the meatball actually stuns on first hit and then knocks up. Oh, Kumbhakarn ultimate. There goes the ultimate coming down from Vulcan. Not going to land, though. The dash was available. Needed to time it a little bit better there to be able to do something or predict for the dash itself. Not going to grab it.
Nope, not going to find it for now. With everything being down, both mid camps are down. Gold Fury's down. It's just going to be an opportunity for keeping ward placements and look to fight in the right opportunity. With Radio's ult being down, there's an opportunity right now for the aggression to come out on the right-hand side. Once again, it's Frostiak looking to get aggressive on Badger. Oh my god, that double tap was huge! Drybear!
That's Thor. That is
That's a
all
lot of
Thor does.
damage.
That is his bread and butter. Here comes, Ao Guang.
Oh,
Tornado. Not going
no.
to find it, though. A little bit eager. Spear Sips coming out. Not going to land either. Going to hit Ra,
hit
though.
Xaylia.
As Frosty comes out. Meatball. Back off the hit. There goes the hit. Now looking for the Ao Guang hit on top of Ra. Come and get some, says says Ra, but here they come. They want it the slow. The EJ is going to buy time, but what will it do? Meatball on top. No ultimate going to come out there, but Agni's in the fight.
Yagni is in the fight, and Daze is there too. Now Frosty's the one that's going to be careful, but good support by Argonoff is going to force Shadow Nightmare away for the time being. Good blink over the wall, stalled long enough. It's a long cooldown on that blink, Dry Bear, but he managed to buy enough time to allow him to get it available from being out of combat.
He's actually lagging a lot here into the tower, taking the tower shots and have some troubles. I imagine a pause might come out shortly if they decided to deal with it. And you can see the damage that Ao Guang can do, right? I mean, he's able to do so much damage. Stun on the right side, Flame Whip coming out. Path Flame's not going to land. Needs some damage from Geb. Going to hit it there. Ra is going to come on over pretty shortly. There goes the Sleep Purification Beast. Get popped up there. Damage on Dazer. Dazer up and low here. Just a little bit of damage. The Groggy Strike almost hit.
Missed it!
He needs a big slap from a big boy. And can he get the hit there? Dazer dashing away. The shield on top. There's the Vulcan Ultimate. Not going to land. And unfortunately, Radio missing the Groggy Strike means that he's gonna get away.
Oh, but Sanjo's still going. He's still looking. He's gonna walk in for find Frostyak as well. Does secure Daisy, but now at what cost is that gonna be? A Celestial Beam comes out, doesn't connect. Immediate use of Special Delivery. Charges the Sonic Boom away from the wall. Gonna be okay for now, but on the side note as well, Nozgov did secure on that right-hand side Shadow Nightmare, so he did drop in that fight.
Yeah, Thor being forced out in the mid lane here. There goes the hit. There goes the damage. The hammer not going to land, but you can really see why Thor is picked up in general, right? It's just thinking that hammer. And one of the reasons why players max that hammer out is because if you hit on the foreswing and the backswing, it does double damage. It's effectively 3 times the amount of damage listed on the tooltip, especially with the amount of penetration he has. He has the Jotun's Wrath. He has the Warrior Tabi. It hurts a lot, and that's why Ao Guang went down there. But Exposed just got downright greedy.
Yeah, they did overextend a little bit too much. I mean, Xaylia eating that ultimate from Ao Guang as well was really surprising. I did not expect that one, especially when it missed onto Frostyak, which was his intended target. I was surprised when Xaylia walked into that one. So, bit of a misplay, but Exposed Secret still in control of this one, Dry Bear. They're in terms of gold and experience right now. Both mid-camps still down. Gold Fury's up soon, though, so keep an eye on that one, as that's where the next fight will probably break out. If Exposed Secrets can pick up a kill, they're going to look for that one again.
Well, the selling point is going to be their experience. The gold is not big enough for them to be able to call it at 18 minutes. I mean, they're not even over 1K right now. But 4,000 experience is definitely nothing to laugh at. They have a lot of control in that way, and they're going to start hitting higher levels and hitting that level 20 pretty quickly there as Frosty dodges that bomb. But Thor's going to go up in the air, looking for the left side. Apollo dashing away. Again, Frostyak not leaving himself enough headroom to be able to get the distance.
I'm not going to find anything on that one. So they know it's on cooldown now, but it was good map awareness and good discussion from the team. Communications were high then to let them know that was going on. Meanwhile, once again, Frosty being pushed in, and you can see Frosty is being pushed in on that Vulcan. Now Frosty trying to rotate around, but walks into Kumba Khan, and Sanjo's there once again, puts a bit of poke damage out, lets him know he's around.
Yeah, making Thor look right side. Argonath going up against Dahlia, forced out of the jungle here. The towers are still standing, and honestly, you know, how much are these slow towers really worth Hindu? I mean, 500 gold, and their teams are getting really aggressive. There may come a point where they just abandon these towers entirely.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the gold is a minimal amount of gold. The only thing it does do is open the map up a little bit, and so if they do go down, you will see more rotations coming out from people, as we can see a rotation from Xaylia to mid-camps here. Got to find out Sanjo down the right-hand side.
Left side, Perchapry is going to be kind of controlling this lane the best they can. Neath is pushing it quite aggressively. And Funball is actually going to be the most second most farmed in the game right now, second to the Ao Guang Noodle.
Oh, that damage!
But he is going to go down for this one. That was a decent kill. He's got nowhere to go.
Or is he? Or is he? Or is he? Because the shield from Daze is going to save the day, and there's Daze going to Sonic Boom connects. Thor's up in the sky, and sprint away. Sancho's going to find it, and Frostek's going to miss the dunk, but he's going to secure it, and now Kumbakan is in trouble. Epic Kumbakan was important as Apollo rotates in as well. The double tap does connect. He's going to drop, but can Apollo and Nozgov do anything about it?
He's on the ground. He's going to be defended by his team here. Neath trying to get the shots in. He gets back up off the ground. There's the Unravel slowing them down. Frostek's in the fight here. Spiro not going to land though. Geb wants the Apollo back away there. There goes the hit. Argonath needs some damage, but doesn't have the ultimate available. Tornado's going to drop Xaylia down to about half HP. The Gold Fury is available, and the personnel is in favor of Exposed Secrets.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, on top of that, Kumbakan is very weak. Had to go back to base, so they're not going to have the hog available to try and contest this. Ao Guang and Apollo are going to play this one very, very carefully. Going to drop a tornado down, but I think this is going to go over to Exposed Secrets.
America freedom intensifies in that Gold Fury there as they back off entirely. Spear the Maggot's done on Shadow Nightmare after the Book of Thoth. Same thing goes for Argonath. He's got the Book of Thoth and, of course, the Spear of the Maggots, plus more damage and penetration from his boots. Full purification beads on a lot of people right now. Greater purification being picked up by Vulcan, Ao Guang, Shadow Nightmare, Zalia, Frostiak, all having those one himself. So definitely a lot of purification coming out here. Both supports have their tier 3 Hand of the Gods as expected. And both supports, surprisingly enough, are going for the Blink initiation as well. So very aggressive starts.
Yeah, I mean, both of them want to get in the front line, force the Yawn or the Cataclysm combination just to get the teams in a good position and be the front line for their team. So, not surprised to see that one. I'm surprised how well Radio's done, though, and catching himself back up because he was very far behind against Dazer. He's now equal level. Gold is pretty much equal as well between the two, so that's pretty good work from him overall to catch himself back up. Might find out Shadow Nightmare here, though, Sanjo. Not going to notice it, though. Too busy farming the wave.
Farming the wave, indeed. We got a lot of control coming out here. These two teams are kind of going head to head. And you look at the difference between the two teams. It's not a whole lot. But you know, dash in the mid lane. Looking for it. Gonna hit the meat ultimate as well. The Vulcan ultimate hits the ground to no avail.
I did not even see Frostiak in the sky there, but that was a good call from them. Now Radio could be in trouble here. Frostiak tanking up the tower for them. Just going to backdoor that tower. Doesn't even care. Take down the middle tower. Extra little build goal for the team. Opens the map up a bit.
They don't want that fat man. He's going to get away from that one. Not worth the effort. And of course, his passive could or could not be up right now. Enough time has passed for it. And honestly, I doubt any of them are really keeping track of the ultimate to see if that's going to make a big difference for them. Now, we're going to see kind of things open up for Exposed Secrets here. They have the map control. They have the distance they need. And they have the vision as well, surprisingly enough. They didn't really have much in the beginning of the game, but they've got it now. The Fire Gen's available. The Gold Fury is down for the count. Left side, Apollo getting poked down by Dazer.
Yeah, he's doing a good job in this lane, is Dazer right now. He's consistently getting around, rotating to the mid over and over again. We saw that he nearly helped Shadow Nightmare survive that ridiculous aggressive gank that he did in mid lane and almost survived the whole thing from it. Great ganks overall, though, coming out, and good coordination from Exposed Secrets.
Mercury heading over left side, probably looking for that Neath, but you know, honestly, Funball has been showing himself to be very hard to gank. They've tried 3 times so far in this game, and none of them have been successful. Funball still sitting 4-0 and 5. Even with a 3-man gank with multiple ultimates used, he gets forced out. And one thing that's great for him is he's gotten so much gold from assists from his ultimate, as well as control from rotating over to the mid lane, and he actually rushed Deathbringer right off the bat, looking to finish off Rage as well, getting so much gold. He's the most farmed in the game right now, and looking at his number 2 on Exposed Secrets, Zalia has picked up Rod.
Yeah, they're going for real aggression right now. A lot of damage coming out from Exposed Secrets, so keep an eye on these ultimates when they fly through the air as well, because they're going to start chunking people down. Left-hand side being pressured out once again. Apollo has to retreat from his tower here, and it's giving Funball a free time just to drop that one down again, so a little bit more gold in the pockets of Exposed Secrets here.
They're controlling everything. I mean, they've got the map locked down. Left tower going down, mid tower going down. That opens so much space. They're going to try and get a hit. Not going to get that ultimate down in time, unfortunately enough. Kumakarn is in the area, but, you know, Optimum really has to come back here.
Yeah, they do, and they've got a chance on the left-hand side here, but Daisy's in the area, going to look for the opportunity, and I think overall the crit landed from Sanjo to pick up both those mid-camps, so that was a nice major look overall. Paid off for them there, as once again we see the fight between Frosty and Shadow Nightmare in mid lane, where Shadow Nightmare is now 2 levels ahead of Vulcan right now.
You know, one thing we talked about in the picking stage as well, Hindu, is the fact that the lineup for Optimum is not really a, comeback team. It's not a team that really is great at dealing with high aggression or being very far behind. Ao Guang can be punished very heavily. Mercury punished very heavily. Vulcan also can be punished very heavily. These aren't characters that are known for being able to come back when, that's down for the count. So, I'm really curious to see what Optimum can do here. They have to really kind of find strength in that Kumakarn Epic Uppercut combination with the Vulcan ultimate, the Ao Guang ultimate. Really, they just need Ao Guang to activate and start joining in these fights, but he's stuck defending this tower.
He really is. He should probably let it go, because at the moment you can see the rotation coming out from Exposed Secrets. They're wanting this last outer tower to go down, so Dazer rotates over here with Shadow Nightmare. Frostiak's looking for it as well. We're going to see him come in more than likely any second now, but the rest of Optimum Esports a little bit late to the party, but they're here. They're here to defend.
They're here to defend indeed. Frostiak looking for an opportunity to go up in the air here. He hasn't decided whether he wants to go up or not. He's just kind of buying time. Neath on the left side of the map. We know that Sanjo is not there either. And of course, Perchpry is over there on the left side.
Frosty needs to be careful.
Frosty looking
Frostiak's
for Frosty. Frosty on Frosty. Neath ultimate coming down. There's the hammer. There's the damage. There's the wall. Throws going up in the air actually immediately afterwards. Looking for Vulcan to the tower. Possibly even Ao Guang. Gonna try and find Ao Guang. Blink from Gab. Knock up Shockwave. He needs to back out of here. Needs to get out of the fight. He's going towards the tower. Defending it. The tower is already down. Nowhere to go. Gab ultimate coming out there. Radio's going down. Vulcan ultimate's not going to land either. There goes good sleep. Epic uppercut damage on Shadow Nightmare. Forcing by Shadow Nightmare will go down there. Zalia dashing away. The damage. Searing Pain is going to hit on top of Sanjo. Forcing him back to the tower.
Frostyak.
Can he get the dunk? He needs to hit Frostyak. There's the dunk. Good Gem Shield as well. There's a So Beautiful. One shot will do it.
Sonic Boom!
Looking for Frosty in the jungle. There goes the slow as well. The Tornado's going to come out shortly. Dazer's going to go down as well. Big turnaround from Optimum Esports. The Fire Giant's available, and Frosty has to run.
They have to go for the Fire Giant right now. Put themselves back in. Frosty's going to aggressive though. He's going to try and pick up Argonaut. Not going to find it. Squall connects, and this is an opportunity right now for Optimum Esports to take this game by the scruff of the neck. Meanwhile, though, Funball are going to get a tier 2. They're going to have to go back and defend that one very soon, otherwise he's going to get the Phoenix.
Let him have the tier 2. Let him have. We got Fire Giant. We got a big wipe there. Exposed Secrets, because of the 2 towers taken on the left side, though, will have the gold lead. So they got the tier 1 on the right side and the tier 2 on the left side. It's 2,000 gold in the lead. And honestly, Optimum really needs to start taking some towers down or stealing some jungle buffs to try and come back in the gold gap. But keep in mind, they have the Fire Giant buffed now. Now, this is a twofold bonus. Number one, Exposed Secrets were on the cusp of taking over the game entirely, and so if they lost Fire Giant to Exposed would be impossible to team fight against. And so by them getting the Fire Giant, they're denying it to Exposed.
That's right.
But not only that, but they have the Fire Giant buff, which actually puts them a little bit ahead in the team fight perspective, in the way that they actually have more damage and regeneration in order to kind of contest Exposed Secrets in open field. And so if they do the right things with this buff, they can come back in this game very quickly.
Well, to take into account as well, both the middle lane and solo lane of Optimum Esports missed their ultimates in that team fight completely there, Dry Bear, and they still managed to win that fight overall. The rotation from Apollo paid dividends for them hugely there. But now Optimum Esports get the Gold Fury, going to close the gold gap again, but this shows how far ahead Exposed Secrets were. They've just lost a Fire Giant, they've just lost a Gold Fury, and they're still ahead in gold and XP.
Oh, they are. I mean, but barely. I mean, you look at the distance here, you're going to see 850 gold, 300 experience. I would call this game effectively even at this point. We're nearing the 30-minute mark. We just have a single K of experience and gold between the two teams. Honestly, with the Fire Giant buff as well, Optimum Esports is in the lead here as long as that buff is active. And the difference is not enough, or when it falls off, it's really going to be a big detriment to them. So we'll see what they do with it, right? Because everyone Exposed Secrets rushed hard damage. You can see that Brawler's Beast is out from Frostyak. We know that there's 2 rods and a Deathbringer done already. However, look across the way, there's a Deathbringer done on Sanjo. There's a rod done on Argonaut. I mean, they've got the damage. Rod's almost done from Vulcan as well. Yeah,
Shadow Nightmare just ate 1 tornado from Argonaut on that Ao Guang and went down to 25% health from full health. It's going to do a lot of damage in those team fights if you can find the tornadoes. But that's the whole thing about Optimum Esports, though, Drybear. We're talking about how Vulcan is very hard to land the damage on to make it consistent and actually be good. But same thing with Ao Guang as well. To really get the damage off with him, you've got to make sure those tornadoes and those squalls are on point and make sure they're effective. And if they can do both of those, then Optimum Esports, they're going to look like giant killers again. They could take a big scalp and Expose Secrets here.
Oh, Blinking Kumakar in the mid lane going to find some initiation.
Combo.
Experience going to come
Good Aegis.
Good Aegis Am to avoid it, though. Sleep on 3. Needs an Earthshaker to come out here shortly. He's going to go for it. Shadow Nightmare not going to find it. Going to hit Zalia with huge damage. There goes the So Beautiful. A double kill for Perch Brain. He's got a tower, though. There goes the Mesmerizer going away. Frosty is low. Need a little bit of damage to take him down. Dazer's getting shredded by Apollo.
Oh, Funballer.
Needs the kill and backflips away.
Yeah, Funballer made a big play for his team there, just taking out Apollo to make sure this push isn't going to be as bad as it first looked, because they've got 3 members to defend, and it's only going to be Vulcan pushing alongside them. I don't think they can get the Phoenix here. It's going to be a tough ask for them to do so. Good decision from Optimum Esports, Driver. They're going to rotate right and take that tier 2. Much better call.
Right side, we see them controlling this. We're just push up very, very strong. This tower's going to take down. They got the mid tower down. Look at the gold. They're already 2,700 gold in the lead, 3,200 experience in the lead. Optimum Esports has finally come back from a very long and very painful 25-minute deficit up against Exposed Secrets. And honestly, this is anyone's game. Even with the lead here, it's been back and forth the entire time. Even with the Optimum behind, they're able to come back. Exposed Secrets has been hitting hard very, very long throughout this entire match. We see a Polynomicon almost done here for Argonaut, though. That's going to hurt.
It's really going to hurt, and that's one thing
Done
that we're going
now.
to see more and more now. Polynomicon going to take a little bit longer to come online, mainly a 5th and 6th item now.
Vulcan's got his rod too.
It's going to do a lot of damage though.
Gonna go back.
Oh wow.
And there's the purchase.
Oh wow. Keep an eye on Optimum Esports, guys, because these guys are really starting to fly through the ranks. They've already taken the likes of i5 out of competition before in previous weeks, and now Exposed Secrets on the cards. This is not an easy team to beat, in all honesty. These are well-known players. These guys have got experience in their roles, work well, and Optimum Esports, like, they were behind in this game as well, Dry Bear, and they're just holding on, and they've brought it back to being ahead now.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, honestly, I'm really shocked to see this close of a matchup here. 8th seed versus 9th seed. We know these teams are both great, but really the action is in the heart here. And you can see these players really want to win today, considering the fact that we only have this week and then 2 more weeks of competition left before the qualifiers are complete. They go into the regionals. The big regional lands coming up shortly. You know, the books are doing a lot of damage for the mages. The Deathbringers are already complete. I mean, really, it just comes down to probably the next big team fight. If it can be strong enough, the Fire Giant's up, and that's most likely what they're looking for.
Yeah, definitely going to continue to try and pressure this. So they're starting the Fire Giant already. This is interesting because Apollo still off on the left side. Sanjo's still mid.
God.
Oh, the damage on Dazer. There's the tornado going to hit as well. Look at those ticks just slowly. 139 a tick. So Dazer's cut a little bit of health off from the shield, help prevent some. But now the rest of the team is here. Funball is going to be on their way. Ow.
You have Ultimate Cataclysm, another thing's raw. Ultimate gonna hit Radio, or a Shaker coming through, gonna hit no one. Spirit Step is gonna hit no one. Zaylee on the backside. Dazer trying to disengage, he's gonna get it there. They need to disengage. Argonaut's getting too low. Why are they committing so hard to this? The hammer comes out. Berserker Bar's coming through as well. Radio and Argonaut in a lot of trouble. Funballer.
Apollo's coming.
Neath Ultimate coming out, gonna finish him off. The noodle has been cooked. Apollo's up in the air.
Apollo missed.
He's got nowhere to go. Thor on the backside. Radio in trouble. There goes the blink from Frosty. There's the hit. There's the backfire. Needs some damage. The tornado is not available. No one come to his rescue right now. Radio on the ground. Frosty's low. They're going to go for Radio, and this is a free Fire Giant. I don't know what Optimum was trying to do there. They committed too hard to a lost engagement.
Yeah, they overdid the engagement overall. All they had to do was just buy time and let Apollo split push to victory on the left-hand side. But what they did in the end, the fight didn't go well. Missed both their ultimates again on Vulcan and Guang. And then the fight just slowly fell apart. Big call, though, from Thor. Frostiak made a great decision to wait so long, Dry Bear. Wait for all the engage to be over with before jumping into that team fight. On the other side, though, Apollo might be able to get this Gold Fury in response and just buy his team a little bit more time. Good call from him.
Perchapry, he decided, you know what, there's no way I can contest that Fire Giant. I would just die. Let me get this Gold Fury. And actually, they keep, you know, Optima in the gold lead right now, 2K in the lead. They're losing experience. They don't have the Fire Giant buff, but this is kind of the same situation we had about 10 minutes ago in the way that, you know, it seemed like it was all going well, and all of a sudden the Fire Giant, you know, goes in the favor of Optima when exposed in the lead, and it's just kind of back and forth going through here. I think as long as both teams are willing to make these greedy mistakes, it's still wide open.
Still wide open indeed. So we're going to see now Exposed Secrets starting to group in the middle lane. Keep an eye on them because Daze will be quite happy to tank up this tower with the likes of Funballer just to auto attack it down. Frostiak off on the wing right now, so tier 2 mid going down. Apollo off on the left side looking for the split push opportunity as we can see the rest of Exposed Secrets rotating right to take this last tower that Optimum has on the map.
Tower's gonna go down. Apollo's not in the area, and I don't think Optimum should fight this. The Fire Giant buff is really working well for Exposed Secrets, and I think that Optimum understands that. They know they can't contest this. They know that's not worth the tower. Apollo's very far away, though, looking for a tier 1. 500 gold, risking the loss of a Phoenix. He's got to go ult right now. Honestly, if I was Apollo, I would just come back and try to defend. That 1,500 gold is not going to save the game either. He cannot lose his Phoenix, and he cannot lose his team fight.
Thor's up. He's looking for the opportunity. Radio's on the front line, trying to zone them out. Dunk on the backside from Thor. Nice damage coming down, but there's a lot from that tornado. Frostiak gets Ian. 1,230 damage on that Spirit Tempest. And now Apollo is still split pushing. Dry Bear. Phoenix goes down. It should be a 1-for-1 on Phoenixes.
Got Thor, the Phoenix went down, but looks like Apollo's pushing it up hard. He's committed hard to this one. Looks like they just don't want to get it. They did a great job of defending and made me look like a fool as they called the Apollo rotation. He's going to get it, but Neath gets the kill. You know, it's 1-for-1 and Phoenix for Phoenix. It's actually a very completely even trade between the two teams, and Optimum still holds the gold lead.
Yeah, overall, though, I mean, for map positioning-wise, that left-hand Phoenix is going to be a bigger issue to defend, especially when the Fire Giant comes back up. So keep an eye on that one, because they're both going to respawn at about the same time as well. So we're going to see things from both sides. But, oh, my goodness, oh, the Aegis was big as the America beam is not going to be found today. No freedom for AO Kwang this time round.
no freedom there. He just wanted to make sure he defended. Honestly, it wouldn't have killed him off, but at the same time, he doesn't want to risk the chance that Thor, if Agni was throwing bombs over the wall, Neath ultimate coming out there, he just didn't want to risk the death. You can't die right out. Gab, shockwave, damage, bomb from above, land on top, one more bomb, it's gonna hit, and there's another cooked noodle here as the rotation from Volk on the right side will force them out. Kumakarn's in the area, Groggy Strike gonna miss as the backflip comes out there. Kumakar ultimate, can they get it? They need something here. Vulcan's going to go through. There's no rotation. Apollo's about to respond, though. Need to join in on this.
He's going to drop.
Low. There's the damage.
He's going to drop down. There's the backfire going off from Frostiak, and now he's got out of position as the root lands from Neath, and the crits are real. 644, 706, 509. People are starting to get destroyed. Funball's damage is going through the roof right now.
Virgil probably actually trying to force out some here. They had some really great crits. 2 Phoenixes down, 4 Optimum. They can't lose this last one. They have to defend this with everything they have. Apollo's pushing up the right lane. He's got to be in this fight. He cannot be splitting this with. They need this Phoenix up. I don't know why he's over here. These minions aren't even at the Titan yet. There's already Titan minions kind of going in here. The Phoenix is dropping low. Radio's in the best he can to defend. They got to get over there. He's up in the air. Here he comes.
They're not going to make it. Apollo's going to come in, and there we can see the engage from Radio, trying to slow them all down. Nice damage coming out, but there's not enough members to really do anything. Sanjo's doing his best to fight, but the too many members of the team, and they're getting lower and lower Optimum Esports. But there is the Noodle. The Noodle's going to take out Daisy with that tornado. The Phoenix still stands, but at what cost? Because Radio's getting very low as well.
Oh, there goes the heal from Rob and top. Sanjo with the big crits punching through it. The Phoenix goes down instead. General Nightmare and Funball commit to it while they're fighting. That's 3 Phoenixes down. They know they got a big win there. They're going to back off. It ended up being a 2-for-0 exchange. There's the mate. You look, there's a punch. He's rid of the ground spear. Huge damage. Funball gets the hit. The crit comes out, and Sanjo goes for the solo mission, but he had no backup and nowhere to go, and he's going down. Okay.
Build hunters, and that's what you see. People disappear, and finally we see Funballer go back to base and finally pick up his last item. Chinsei's on the table as well. That's going to be a lot of damage coming out of it from him, and he's played a great game so far. He's the only person not to die in this game at all, Dryben. With how these fights have gone and how crazy they've been all over the map, for Funballer not to die in any of them, that really shows the level of play he really has.
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, he's played very safe. He's still 9-0-7. He is the only person in the game to not die. He is the undying for this matchup here, and he's been playing perfectly. I mean, he hasn't made a single mistake this entire game. He hasn't overextended. He hasn't missed a skill shot. I mean, he's looking very, very great. And honestly, that's kind of like the pillar that Exposed Series is leaning on. Now, the gold is even. The experience is even.
It is even.
Everything is wide open. This Fire Giant is so crucial. The problem is Optimum Esports has a lot of babysitting to do, and they don't really have the time to waste on this Fire Giant.
Yeah, one rain of fire connected onto Aokwang there, so he ate one chunk. The Celestial Beam did miss, sorry, the Saving Pain missed from Zalia, but that'll be off cooldown sooner rather than later. As Funballer rotates around the back looking for an opportunity to get some aggression on. He's ready to fight now, he's Funballer. He's full build. He knows his attacks are going to hurt, just those autos over and over again. Right inside Phoenix comes back up though, and as that does so, look at this. Fire Giant has begun.
Apollo's push to the left side. The mid lane is there. Apollo's got to get there. This is his time to go. He's got to ult right now. And
Radio.
There goes the blinket. Radio wants it. Volkel to Earthshaker coming out. There goes the hit. There goes the Perseverance as well. They're dropping very low. Argonath goes down though. Double kill for Frostiak. Dashing away. Apollo is so late to the party. Gonna try and find Neath in the backside. Dashing forward. Does he have a sprint? He's got the sprint. There goes the hit. Dazer's low. There goes the blink. Still forcing it out, but here comes a rotation from behind. Thor's there. Hammer not gonna find home. Oh, Zalia, Shadow Nightmare, Perchapie, he is the hope, he is the freedom for his team. There goes the Saren, he needs to get out here, he cannot die, this would be huge.
Does manage to escape for the time being, gonna continue the chase away. Frostiak still in hot pursuit, as is the rest of the team. Daze is there with the rollout, continuing the chase, but this is buying his team time. Trybear, this is buying him time, but for how long can he continue this? As the shield comes on from Dazer once again, Apollo dies, and the Phoenixes have a little bit more time to respawn, but look at this. Exposed Secrets looking to end. Looking for that last Phoenix.
It was a 3-for-1, and Apollo, I don't know what he's doing there. I mean, honestly, once you push the wave up enough where it can sustain itself for a little while, he needed to get to the Fire Giant. He needed to be there for his team because there was a very small window of success opportunity for them. They're going to come up and clean up these very weak baby Phoenixes as they're just respawning. There goes the last one again. 3 Phoenixes still down for Autumn. And this is the problem with losing 3 Phoenixes in a row like that, is that you don't really have the defense to keep them all alive and kind of babysit them and keep keep going because, you know, they're going to be weak when they respawn. They're going to be very susceptible to ganks. They're going to be very susceptible to damage. And as soon as Exposed gets any window, they're going to take them out. They have Fire Giant buff. They've got 2,700 gold in the lead. They've got 3 Phoenixes down. Exposed is walking on clouds right now.
Walking on clouds indeed, because now there's not a lot for them to do on the map. Only Gold Fury is standing. The 4 members with the Fire Giant. Funballer back online after his first death of the game. And you can see how much gold Funballer had because he's sat on an elixir of power right now, Dry Bear. It's not often you get to see those in these games. So you can see how well he's farmed so far in this game. This is going to be the end for Exposed Secrets. They're going to make the push in now with all these fire minions.
Fire minions are doing work. Exposed is coming through. The left Phoenix has respawned, but it's the only one that's going to be up for a little while. Funball has that elixir, like you mentioned, has the potion as well. A lot of damage available. Honestly, if you get anywhere near Funball, you're going to be shredded instantaneously. The damage is real here. 40 minutes into the match. This is the biggest standoff we've seen all game, and this is a delicate situation for Optimum. They have a very small opportunity to win here, and it's not very easy.
Well, Earthshaker goes off, not going to connect onto anyone, and now Radio already used the blink in the Mez combo. Tornado's going to be dropped to defend for now. Apollo's in the sky, but he's not got a place to go because no one's low enough, Dry Bear. And meanwhile, middle lane is being pushed in, left-hand side being assaulted by him again. Thor's up. Where's he going to look to dunk down? Who's going to be his opportunity? He doesn't need to, though. He could just wait.
Oh, he's going to try and find Purge Probably can't find him there. Here comes rotation. The Phoenix is down. There's nowhere to go. Titan is under pressure. Spirit Step's going to come through, but fortunately, the Vulcan meatball forced them all out of it. Wasted damage. The Vulcan ultimate is down. The Algor ultimate is down. Apollo ultimate is down. They don't have any control. They don't have enough damage. The Fire Giant buff is bolstering the damage output from Exposed Secrets, and now they have no Phoenixes either. What can they do?
The last stand of a desperate team. Optimum Esports circled their own Titan as Dazer blinks in, gets a good cataclysm. The focus is Sanjo. He's going to try and live, gets back to his well for the time being, but for how long can he hold? Because look at those archers. They're starting to hit the Titan. All members of Optimum still alive. Shadow Nightmare eats a tornado. Celestial Beam goes off, and they back out again. Holding firm at Optimum as the Epic Uppercut comes out, looking for the damage.
Goes the hit. Berserker Rush coming out from Thor's going to blink away with that hammer there. They're going to go for it. Radio's going to back away. Not a whole lot, but honestly, Exposed Secrets is playing the long game here. It's a war of attrition. Just whittle them down little by little. The bomb is huge. The Flame Wave comes out there. Amazing play so far, and that's how they're going to control this game. The Titan is dropping low. Exposed is regrouping. They have the raw heal coming up shortly. They're just going to stand in top of the beam and get all healed back up. Look at that meaty justice coming from above, and now they're all full HP.
All full HP again, so the assault continues as Dazer leads the charge. Celestial Beam misses, but Frosty got very low. So Frosty got very low there. Vulcan has to blink back to base, and once again on the backside, we can see Thor going down, looking for it. Earthshaker gonna connect, only a 1 member. Spirit Tempest doesn't. Titan is falling, and it looks like Exposed Secrets are finally gonna clean this one out. Or are they?
Sonic Boom is available, gonna miss, looking for the damage on top of Azalea. Each time he gets popped, double kitted, big crit, but Funball gets the last shot. A big uppercut, there goes the Groggy Strike. Hammer comes out, gets a distance away. Azalea's still alive, healing back up. The defense of Optimum Esports is out, but they are certainly not safe. No Phoenix is available. The Fire Giants have been respawned. They don't have the map control. And look at the Titan is dropping so low. They're still standing on their last leg.
Oh, they've got 3 members still standing. 50-second
Phoenix
respawn on
comes back.
Sanjo. It comes back, and then it's down again. Or is it? It survives! 1 Phoenix stands proud and tall. The right-hand side. Is that one going to go to?
Nurture that baby. They're over here. They're pushing out the minions, getting those away, knocking them out. Looks like both Phoenixes will survive here, but they're so very weak and frail. Easily taken out. They didn't nurture them right back up. The left lane is still standing as the lane with fire minions, and unfortunately enough, that's the lane that's furthest from the Fire Giant. Exposed Secrets is already gripping up the Taken and 2-man duo. Kumakar's in the area, but you know, he just blinked in to find nothing.
To find it not being done at all at the moment. If he would have just warded over, didn't have time to get a ward, it seemed like people could have had a ward there, Dry Bear could have just thrown it over, seen it, got the vision for his team, and just be able to wait around and keep them busy. But at the moment, his team's still defending. Those 2 Phoenixes are slowly starting to get themselves back up to half health now on the middle and the right-hand side. Left one's going to take a little bit longer, but once again, Exposed Secret's going to assault the Fire Giant. This is the game that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends.
Wow, nice touch.
Thank
nice
you.
touch.
I have to sing at some point.
I'm surprised to see how close this game actually is, right? I mean, you look at the goal difference, there's not anything there. I mean, between the two teams, you got 700. Whoop-de-frickin-do. You got experience, 7,400 between the teams, but whoop-de-frickin-do. There's 9 level 20s.
Earthshaker?
Nothing there. Earthshaker coming out here, gonna do a huge...
Oh, for Baller got hit for
control.
1,600 damage from the
Fire Giant was stolen away. Optimum got
What?
damage, but there goes the hit. Ishim is on Argonaut. They can't lose anybody here. They need to fight this out. They will not be able to defend it. They lose personnel here. Argonaut at the backside needs running on the ground, looking for it. The bomb, the Searing Pain hit on top, and Frosty still's got it. Radio's out of there. Where is the team? Apollo is going for the base race, but why?
He can't go for the base race against the whole team. Apollo is making the worst call possible here. I feel he should be back with his team because nobody's going to be there to defend the Titan on its own as Radio drops. Only Mercury here. Apollo recalls. I think this is the game now. The Fire Giant was taken by them, Drybear. They had the chance.
Again, we see Apollo not there for the fight. The bomb takes him out.
Ow.
This is the 4th time this match where he was split pushing when his team needs him. There's the dash from Sanjo trying to do something to the bomb on the ground. The Titan's so weak though, they're going to take it out immediately. No necessary effort coming out from Exposed Secrets, and Optimum, after a valiant effort and a very close game overall, that the entirety of this match are going to lose it in the end. Hindu?
Well,
Hindu?
I'm sorry. I've got no background again.
Hindu. Shh.
Okay.
No, Hindu. Stop
What?
talking. Stop talking.
Okay.
I don't want to freak you out. Okay?
Okay.
Breathe. There may or may not be a wild animal behind you.
What the hell is that?
No, Hindu, relax. No sudden movements, no loud noises.
Okay.
Relax.
What is it?
It looks like a puma. Okay, or a jaguar. Just
I've never seen
no,
a puma before.
Hindu,
We don't have them here.
Hindu, you'll startle it. Relax, okay? Good. All right, what I want you to do is I want you to raise your arms, try to look
Where's my arm?
imposing. Just try to scare it away. Just look big. Be as tall as you can. As you can.
Rah. Camp
It's not
Ra.
imposing at all.
Camp Ra works, right?
Replay on the screen, guys, to see what happened there. They're defending the Titan on the screen, and that's what we're looking to see. The last match was a fantastic one as we're still on the screen. Okay, there we go. Zverl looking on top. There goes this Earthshaker going to do a minimal amount of damage here. And look, both ultimates missed. No damage being put out here, but you can see they're committing a little bit too hard. They're leashing the Titan several times. The damage from Ra is there. Good grab from Sancho. The crits are huge. Mercury does so much damage at the end of the game there. There's the meatball on top. They're going to push it out. And again, they're splitting up far too much. There goes that. They're showing on the ground as well, and they just can't. I mean, I feel like Exposed just didn't have a game plan there. They just assumed the game was over.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
they just kind of pushed it in.
And I feel Optimum Esports there, they held firm, Driver. They lost 3 Phoenixes and they got the Fire Giant. I just think they threw at the end with the Apollo split push a little bit too much. If they would have been with his team, with that amount of damage he had on him as well, that could have gone so differently, and that game could have gone on for at least another 10 minutes. And if they could have won that fight, Driver, there's a chance they could have come back and won that game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, honestly, it's a tough one. And so we're going to look at the brackets here to see how things have progressed so far. We can see that I5 has defeated Losing Road. They're moving on into the round of 8. Bloody Tech has defeated Big Boys as well. They're moving on to round 8. SK has defeated the Musketeers, and they'll be in the round of 8 as well. We're waiting for the results of Team Coast Blue versus Vindicate. TSM is still facing off against Los Colombianos. Agilitas and Revival Esports are together as well. We just watched Optimum Esports versus Exposed Secrets on the top there. You can see that Optimum will be moving on into the next round, and now we're going to be at the top of the bracket. Cloud9 versus Team Bully, a little bit uneven there, but we're going to see what happens between the two teams there. First seed versus 16th seed. That's a rough way to go into the tournament here. On the top side, we can see there's SK Game moving on, and of course, Bloody Tech has moved on as well. So we're going to be heading in the round of 8 coming up next here, getting ready to control the rest of the flow here. But
The
you know,
throws.
honestly,
Were you about to say the throws? Welcome to EU.
It's that last game. I mean, there's so many things that they
That's
did
crazy.
back and forth. I mean, small mistakes that added up over time, right? I mean, just issues here, issues there. It all kind of came together at the end. And honestly, that could have been anyone's game at any point, even at the end there. And I think it really what came down to is they left too many Phoenixes exposed, and they ended up losing too many, and that really what just changed the game there. But that's going to be it for this round, guys. We're going to the round of 8 coming up next, and this is going to be a very exciting tournament to watch because we're closing in on the last little leg here of the qualifiers. We're in week number 8. 2 weeks to go after this one. You don't want to miss the last final pieces here because 4th seed is still open for the regionals. We're going to cut to a brief break, and we'll be right back.